Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I actually wanted to do a little bit of background of like who I am, what I'm about, my military career so far, and things like that. So I'm in the Air Force. I joined the Air Force when I was 18 years old. I didn't even know I wanted to join the Air Force initially. I actually wanted to join the Navy. But I did ROTC in high school, and like I wasn't good at anything, like at all. Like I did track, wasn't good at that. I did cross country, wasn't good at that. And I'm like, what am I good at? So I decided to join ROTC, and yeah, it went really well, of course. And then I ended up being really good at doing drill. So I became the drill team commander, the unarmed drill team commander. Okay. And yeah, I was like really good at that. And I was like, okay, you know, like I am good at something. I am good at something. So that was cool. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So my first job was McDonald's. I was working at McDonald's, you know, trying to save up money for a car and things like that. And like, I just didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. Like, I was like, okay, going to college is cool, but who's paying for that? Like, we couldn't afford that, you know? And life was a little, you know, it was a little tough because living in Jersey, like, it's like if you're not balling, good riddance to you. Like you're gonna struggle for sure. Like me, my mom, and my sister, we were in like quote unquote low income. And then she got a raise and it like bumped us out the bracket, and everything went downhill from there. So, you know, we had to keep moving house to house, you know, living with people all over. And I was just like, I don't want this for myself. I don't want this for my family. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like my only way out was to join the Air Force. Like I was doing so well in RTC and I was getting all these awards and things like that. I'm like, this is like my way out. Like I attempted to test for, my SATs, and like when I showed up for my appointment, yo, I couldn't find the room. Like my mom took me and I couldn't find the room. I missed the cutoff. Like I completely missed my appointment. And I remember getting in the vehicle, I told my mom, I was like, yo, I missed my appointment. And she was like, what? Like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I'm joining the military. Like, this is it. That was the last straw for me. Like, I took that as a sign. Like, I'm not going to college. And that was that. And so yeah, so I joined the military when I was 18 years old. It took a long time because I had to lose weight, which is crazy to think about that now. And like really they measured me an inch off. So like they told me I had to lose 5 pounds, and then when I went to MEPS, like come to find out I didn't have to lose anything, which is like crazy. But so yeah, so I was trying to lose weight. Took mad long. Like my whole process from seeing a recruiter to leaving for boot camp was like 1.5 years, like almost 2 years. So I was still working at McDonald's. I picked up another job at Nike, and yeah, I was just saving up money until I could leave. And my mom, my sister, and I, like, we kept moving to, you know, into people's places, and we just couldn't find a place to stay because it's like, yo, my mom was not making enough, you know. And it was just tough. Like even with my money and my sister's money, like it was just skimming by. Like it was not, we couldn't find anywhere to go. And so, you know, we found an apartment, but it was a 2-bedroom. There's 3 of us. So like that was definitely like my last straw of like, okay, like I don't fit anywhere in this equation, you know, nor did I want to anyway. Like I knew I like needed to do something and get my life together. So, you know, we got the 2-bedroom apartment. I was sleeping in the living room, sharing the room with my mom and my sister, all the way up until I left for boot camp. And yeah, so they called me August of 2015, and they were like, yeah, we have a date, January 5th, 2016. And I was like, yes. Like, I don't, at that point I was like, I don't even care what it is. Like, get me out of Jersey right now. Like, this is not ideal. This is not going well. So yeah, January 5th, 2016, I left for boot camp, and that's where it all started. And it's crazy too, because I remember, like, I went to tech school, and I was on details. Like, they didn't have no class for me. They didn't know where I was going, nothing like that. So I was in tech school for a whole other month longer than I was supposed to be. And everyone's getting assignments like Germany, Japan, like all these great places. I'm like, yo, I'm about to travel the world like this. This is what I joined the Air Force for. And I remember it was my birthday, and I was in Blues. We had an inspection that day. Yo, and if you know, like, when you're in tech school, yo, you're checking that computer every day. Like, where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Because everyone's getting their orders, like, left and right, right? Their assignments, left and right. Boom. People in my class started getting it. I'm like, yo, I'm coming up soon. Yo, nothing until my birthday. And I remember logging in, and I'm like, yo, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I log in. I go to the thing. My list, I had like Korea, Hawaii, you know, like all these like cool places, Germany, like all these cool places. Yo, when I opened that screen, yo, let me tell you, all I saw was Minot, North Dakota. Minot, North Dakota. Who do you know lives in North Dakota? I bet you don't know anybody, because nobody knows anyone in North Dakota. Like, I was shocked. Like, I'm looking around like, ain't no way. Literally everyone in my class, Japan, I would have took Alaska, Germany. And this dude wanted to switch me. My instructor was like, no, stay in Germany. And I'm over here like, now you could take North Dakota. And so I remember I took my CAC out of the computer. I walked to the bathroom, and I literally bawled my eyes out. And I was like, yo, I remember praying to God, and I was like, how did you let this happen? How did you let this happen? Like, Minot, North Dakota, and the whole phrase is like, why not Minot? Yo, everyone was clowning me for the whole rest of the time in tech school, because I was the only silly person going to Minot. So yeah, so my first base was Minot, North Dakota. 6 months in that thing, I was like, yo, get me out of here. Like, get me out. And I asked the senior airman, I'm like, yo, how do I get out of here? Like, give me a tip, trick, something. Like, I need to leave. And he was like, if you put worldwide on your dream sheet, like, they'll send you wherever. I was like, bet, I'll go wherever. It don't matter. I'll go wherever they want me to go. So I was at my base for 6 months. Boom, I get the email. Congratulations, you've been selected for an assignment. I'm like, yo, I'm out of here. Alaska. I was like, yo, why do they keep sending me to the coldest places in the United States of America? Like, and I told myself, I remember, like, when I joined, I was like, I'm cool going anywhere, not thinking the Dakotas. I didn't even know there was a base, right, in the Dakotas. Like, I didn't even know where North Dakota was. And I was like, as long as I don't go to Alaska, I'm straight. I'm good. Like, my career's gonna be great. Yeah, yup. So, and there's 2 bases in Alaska, and I got the not so exciting one. Anyway, so boom, go to Alaska, cool. Then after Alaska, I go to North Carolina, cool. It was nice there, not freezing temp. I didn't have to deal with negative 30, 40, 50 degree weather. Like, it was great. Deployed, boom, came back. Then I did SkillBridge. I did my internship, which was cool. I ended up doing like a carpentry, electrical, residential class. And that's how I actually ended up getting my first job. I got my first job as a project engineer. And yeah, I'll get into that in a little bit. But So I got my job. I separated August of 2022, and I was like, well, I don't want to leave the military like completely, because what happens if I don't like my job? What happens if I get fired? I don't know. Like, that's the thing with the military. It's hard for you to get like fired, you know, like you have to do some crazy stuff. And I'm like, I didn't want to think like, oh, I'm this, you know, invincible person that no one's gonna fire me. I was like, nah, just in case anything happens, like I need the military as my backup. And like with healthcare, all that stuff, medical care, whatever. So boom, I'm like, okay, I want to stay in CE, civil engineering, but there were no slots for me. So the closest thing was Wright Pat in Ohio. I'm like, I'm definitely not going to Ohio. Like, couldn't convince me otherwise. So I retook my ASVAB. Like, that's crazy. Which, if you retake the ASVAB, it's not like the full test. Like, it's not like the ASVAB you take in MEPS. It's way shorter and a lot easier. So, boom. I take my ASVAB, and I score, like, super high on electrical. All right. And then the job that I wanted at Seymour in North Carolina, like, I didn't even make it. I missed it by 2 points. So my recruiter was like, yeah, you need to pick a job. And he was like, it was like security forces and something else. No one could convince me to do security forces. So I'm like, yeah, nah. So I ended up going into electrical environmental aircraft maintenance, which if you know, nobody ever cross trains into aircraft maintenance ever. They cross train out of it. So, you know, anytime I told somebody like, oh yeah, you know, I cross trained in, they're looking at me like, girl, who paid you? But anyway, so I did that for a little bit, and I started my job, right? My civilian job, project engineer. Okay, cool. I was like, this is great. Money was cool. The commute though. So initially I was driving 40 minutes. And this is another thing too. Like, when you get out, you really learn. I mean, you learn it while you're in too, but like, you really understand like, what are your non-negotiables? Like, how far do I want to drive to my job? How much do I want to get paid? Because I don't really know what's good or bad pay, to be honest with you. Yeah, where do I want to go? Like, do I want to stay in my state? That's the thing. I just stayed where I was at because I'm like, I don't know where to go. Jersey was a little too expensive, you know? So I'm like, I don't want to go to Jersey because I don't know how I'm going to afford it. Anyway, so yeah, so I was like, I'll just stay here. But that's the thing too, like, if you don't know where you want to go, you should definitely at least have an idea before you get out, like, kind of know where you want to go. And if you're YOLO, then YOLO, go wherever the job calls you, I guess. So yeah, the commute was like 40 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I guess, I don't know, like, I guess it's okay. I mean, I'm getting paid good, like, whatever. Yeah, nah, they ended up moving me to another location, which my commute became like an hour and change. So I would wake up at 5 a.m. because I had to be at work by 7. And then I got off at, I think, like 4:35 or something like that. And then I didn't get home till like 7 o'clock at night because of traffic in Raleigh. Sick. So over time, I ended up falling asleep on the road one time, almost hit a semi-truck, and that's when I was like, yeah, nah, this is not it. And then they wanted to transfer me to another town called Siler City. Never even heard of it, which I found out why, because there's nothing there. So, and that was like a 2-something hour commute. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. So, yeah, and then I left for tech school. Okay, cool. And then during this time, I was still waiting on my VA disability. So, my separation date was August 5th, 2022. I did not get my rating until like 8 months later, which is cool because you do get back paid. Yeah, it was just like, okay, I had to make a decision. I'm like, do I keep my job? It was like, do I keep my job, go back home, and be miserable? Because I didn't like anything about the job, like nothing. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit extra money with my disability. Do I wing it and just pick up like little jobs here and there and figure it out? Yeah, I quit my job. So went home, quit, I didn't never regretted it, by the way. And I was just figuring out, like I was picking up little jobs. I was doing Uber, I was doing Lyft. I ended up delivery driving for Amazon, like all these little jobs until I found like another, you know, like career job. But I was not finding anything. Like I didn't realize how hard it was. Like that's a thing when you're in the military. Like don't ever, of course you have benefits, right? Like people want to hire veterans, stuff like that, but never think that, oh, because I'm a veteran, like it's gonna be easier. It could, but it can't. Like it just really depends on like where you go, where the market is, all that stuff. But like I was getting some jobs, but they were so far away and I didn't want to leave. I had just bought my house and I'm like, I don't want to drive another 2 hours. Like that was when I learned my non-negotiable. I'm not driving over 30 minutes to go to work. Like I don't want to do that. At least I don't want to drive like more than 35. But anyway, besides the point. So yeah, and I was just really struggling, and I wish I would have known about like more benefits during that time when I didn't have a job, because it was tough. Like I was doing Airbnb at my house. So it was helping, you know, but nothing was consistent, like as a regular paycheck, you know what I mean? Like I had my disability coming in, but it wasn't enough for me to live comfortably because, you know, I still had my bills and my mortgage and whatever. But one thing I knew too is that that job was not enough for me to be like, I'm gonna go back to it. I was like, no, I'm gonna figure this out without that job. And I mean, I did, but it took a while. I would say from when I left to having the next job, it was almost 2 years. Yeah. And I was just questioning, like, why did I leave active duty? Like I was questioning my whole existence. Why did I leave active duty? What the hell's wrong with me? And it's things like that you don't want to admit it, because everyone already, you know, was preying on your downfall from the jump. So you don't want to talk about it to anybody. And then like, but I was talking to more of my friends and they're going through the same thing. I'm like, yo, what? We in this together? Like, we struggling together? I had no idea. And so I started really like diving into benefits and stuff like that. That's how I came across what VRNE was. Yeah, like I really wanted to start sharing, like, yo, if you get out, I got you. Like, yo, there's so much stuff that we just don't know about. Like, even like little things like the GI Bill. You only hear GI Bill. You don't hear about VRNE. Like, what the hell is that? So, which, you know, I have the whole video on my experience on how that went, if you are interested in looking into the program. So that's really the gist of it. I'm still in the military. I'm in the reserves. It's going great. Initially I hated the reserves. Like I was like, yo, what is the point of this? But I got to my other unit and they've been great. Like it's just been such a good experience for me, because you can still go on orders and stuff like that. Like if you're struggling to find a job, you can try to get AGR, which is Active Guard Reserve. My camera's dying. All right, so my camera died, which is so funny because I literally have a battery charger, an extra battery, and a USB charger for my camera. Didn't bring any of it, so yeah. Anyway, I'm back home now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the whole AGR thing, Active Guard Reserve positions, that's a whole thing in itself, but definitely something to look into as well if you're just struggling to find a job. I almost did it, to be honest with you, when I moved out to Vegas, but things ended up working out and I ended up getting a job. So yeah, you know, I just want to say, like, this whole process for me of getting to being where I didn't have a job to now having like my whole life did a 360, it took a while. Like I would say the planning took about 9 months, from having an idea of like, I'm just gonna move across the country and like start over, to having a job, being enrolled in school, like all that stuff, and my life being completely different. I want to say that because I don't want anyone to think that it was just quick, fast, in a hurry, you know. There was a lot of planning involved. I had to, especially because I'm in the reserve still, I had to find a position, lock it in Vegas, just make the freaking decision of like, yo, I'm really about to move across the country. I really feel like if someone is struggling where they're at right now, finding a job or going to school, whatever the case may be, whatever your goal is, maybe try just a different environment. Like, you don't have to pack up your stuff and move across the country like I did, but that worked out for me. Maybe you just need to go to a different town, or if you can't go to a different town, maybe you just need to be around a different group of people. Like, cutting certain people off of your current circle, you know, because I really do believe, like, when you change your environment, whatever that looks like for you, oh, things are gonna change regardless. Like, in some type of way, shape, or form, things are gonna change for you. So yeah, maybe it just takes, you know, taking that little step of like, hey, I don't know what exactly this looks like, but I'm taking the leap and I'm just gonna go with it. You know, when I decided to move to Vegas, it was definitely like, I was like, am I really gonna do this? Like, what? Like, but I had nothing to lose. Like, there's nothing going on for me in North Carolina anymore. And I was so desperate. I was like, I have to make a change. Like, nothing is going for me, you know, at least in the way that I needed it to. So yeah, and then, you know, when I got out here, like, I winged it on my friend's couch for a little minute, you know, like, shout out to my friends. Like, yo, friends are so important through all this too. Friends, family, like, I don't want anyone to think that I did all this by myself, because I definitely had support. You know, calling my family, should I do this? Should I do this? I don't know about this. And I have such a strong support system. Everyone's like, yo, just do it. Like, I don't know what exactly you're gonna do, but I know you're gonna figure it out. And, you know, I definitely needed that in that time, because yeah, I'm like, yo, should I do this? Freak it, like, I'm just gonna do it. And it was the first time moving without the support of the military too, so I had to save money. Like, I had to save up a couple grand just for the U-Haul and all that stuff. You know, there's so many little things that go into it, that it's gonna take a while. And that's another thing too, is because something's taking a little bit, that maybe that doesn't mean that it's not working out. Maybe it just needs a little bit more planning needs to be involved, you know. So yeah, keep that in mind, and just keep like pushing forward. I really like, and you're gonna hear me say this a couple of times as far as like why I've made this channel, but I can't like say it enough that if it wasn't for the own struggles that I went through during my time from leaving active duty, I wouldn't have had a reason to share all this, my story, and, you know, different benefits and stuff like that, and other people's stories as well. So it definitely took for me to be kicked down a little bit in order to be like, yo, I gotta let people know what the hell is going on this side. Because yeah, when you're in, people are like, oh my god, it's like the most amazing thing getting out. And you like have the expectation off the rip, which that's the thing, it could totally be like that for you. In my case, it wasn't. You know, everyone's different. I know some people are like, yo, I don't regret a single day leaving the military. I'm like, hell yeah, like, good for you, you know, that's literally amazing. So yeah, you know, I really just want to build a community of just talking about struggles and successes too, you know. Please tell me, like, what did you do when you got out? Maybe there's a lot of things I still don't know. I'm like, yo, please share it with me, like, because there's so many people that are going through the same thing. It's just you don't hear about it because no one wants to be like, hey guys, by the way, life isn't going good. I have no job. I have no money. I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills. I might be homeless. Like, nobody's gonna really say that for real, you know. So yeah, it's definitely for, you know, the person that doesn't know if they want to get out. Maybe you're like, I think I want to get out. I don't know. We're gonna talk about all that here. And like I said, I'm gonna be sharing other people's stories too, to have full transparency of everything. This for the person who maybe you want to join and you're like, but how is it really? Again, I'm Air Force, so you know, there's gonna be a surplus of different people from different branches. But yeah, maybe you're like, I want to join, but how is it for real? Like, what are some real struggles? as a woman, as a man, whatever the case may be. Like, what are they? Yeah, it's gonna be shared here. Maybe your spouse or parent or sister, brother, grandma, grandpa, that you're like, what is my veteran going through? You know, like, what are they experiencing? Definitely, you know, tune in and listen to the different stories and struggles that we all face. So, and lastly, I just want to say, like, this is definitely a person who just feels like they don't have it together. Like, things are just not going well. You think that you're the only person feeling like this, and I just want to remind you that you're not. Like, there's a whole group of us out here just waiting for you to come here, and let's help you. So yeah, that's really all I have. I do want to thank you if you did make it this far in the video. I'm super grateful. I'm super appreciative. Thanks for riding with me through this video, for my camera dying too. But yeah, so I'm really excited for you to come along with me on this journey. And yeah, stay tuned, stick around, ask questions, give advice. I'm here for it all. So until next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye.